My suspicions about 9/11 were pretty much instantaneous. I mean, I've spent 40 years travelling the world. I've seen and been on location for quite a few controlled explosions of bringing buildings down. And it occurred to me instantly that the buildings are brought down by controlled explosion. But I guess what I think doesn't matter. Nor my much influence by all the experts in America. I mean, there are so many expert groups, Architects for Truth, etc. I'm influenced by my friendship with 2 or 3 people who work for the world's leading civil engineering consulting firm. It's not the second best in the world or the third best. It's universally acknowledged to be the best, and they're civil engineers. And I've discussed it at length with them. And they say to me, the buildings were not brought down by the impact of planes and the heat of the burning fuel. They were brought down by controlled explosions. So, if that's the case, you have to ask who done it and why. We don't have to go into that. But my overview is very simple. I think 9/11 was an inside job. I think, and I have made the case publicly, I think it's a very strong case for saying the Israeli intelligence may well have had a hand in some aspects of it. But it was essentially an inside job. And I suspect that probably Vice President Cheney was the executive oversight and control of it. But the media's complicity in the cover-up is absolutely total, but that's not surprising. There have been so many media cover-ups down the years about so many things. But there's one thing I have to say about media control. When you look at the Middle East, for example, there are a lot of people who believe and say the Jews control the media. I always argue against people who say that. Yes, it's true that Jews control some of the media, but that's not the real problem. The real problem is self-censorship. It's the fear of owners, proprietors and editors of offending powerful vested interests. And that leads to self-censorship. And it's the worst form of censorship, because you can't fight it. The corporate-controlled media is never, ever going to do anything but to be frightened and compromised by not upsetting, what shall we call it, the system, the establishment, the elite. I mean, I'm amazed when I go back to Geoffrey Cox telling me at ITN our job is to help keep democracy alive. They're not. The mainstream media has betrayed it.